Hello, I'm Ixical. Welcome to Mitsumaru City. In my last episode, I built the sewers up a little bit and I added that engineering depot to deal with all the poo-poos. In today's episode, I'm going to build a slum underneath the elevated motorway because I like the idea of expanding the city into areas that are perhaps poor or considered low income. You know, there's got to be different people living in the city. Not everybody can be a high flyer. And certainly after exploding the sewers a bit, there's plenty of space for some underbelly activity. I like the idea of that. There's been some kind of disaster in the city. Exposed sewers caused carnage. So yeah, at the minute I'm just expanding the sewer network a little bit to be underneath that particular area. Here is the mod list that I'm using, and here are the resources. I feel it's important to tell you the mod list because the city does require a few of them to build. I like the Yuushya mod mostly, but Axiom mod has started to become a popular mod for me because I can copy and paste things. You can see that the sewers expand quite a lot all over there, and now I'm just using the Axiom mod to remove a bit of ground. I want it to be a bit sunken. Something's gone wrong in this area. It's all a bit dangerous, a bit of a disaster zone over here. I'm not sure what I want yet, but I've got a few ideas. This area is going to be for the projects. A low-income housing opportunity for homeless people, I guess, or something like that. I've got to put back into the city because I'm a good guy. I've tried my best for people, please. I want it to look a little bit open as well, because that way I can have lower things underground perhaps. I'm using the McCaw's bridge mod to apply these little concrete bridges, and they also have a little set of pliers you can use to open them up and walk across with. Brilliant! Now I'm going to start laying the foundation of the project. It's going to reach all the way to the top, maybe touching the motorway there. I thought about it, why not? Let's just have it all the way to the top. But then I thought, wait a minute, if all the traffic's at the top, it's going to make a really crazy noise inside the apartment block, and I think people will get disturbed while they're trying to sleep. You would do anyway because it's right next to a motorway, but never mind, I like this area. I'm just going to blow a hole in the side of the building, yeah? That's an access point to get into the projects and also maybe get out of the projects because it's not ideal, is it? What a mess. I'm really sorry about that, residents, but that's the way it's going to be. I'm going to use white blind wool for the flooring there. This exposed area is going to have some kind of stair network as well. I want to be able to access somewhere else. It's going somewhere, isn't it? It's heading towards the sewers, I think. With a little chair to rest on, that's great. Over here, I'm going to build a building. I'm going to place something that they can go to underground. It's a bit shady here. It does lead to the sewers, look. You can see them exposed. That's even got the water there. That's not very good, is it? People who come here are going to be rather disappointed, I feel. Maybe, but maybe they can go to the shop for something. What do you think they're going to buy, I wonder? Well, this is a slum, and there is a bit of crime going on. Let's just leave it at that. Anyway, this little building is going to be built with white worn concrete. I'm also going to make sure that you can access it with a door. A nice simple door that you can't see through. A nice green awning with a bit of pipe work. I like the idea of having a few pipes there. This one is going to be exposed and twisted. Then I can have a bit of smoke coming out of it or something. I'm also going to put lots of vegetation here and some black windows with nice simple black blinds. This is perhaps some kind of pharmacy, let's just say. So over on the shop, I'm going to put a few signs, make it a bit more decorated. I thought at first of making an underground bakery. Yeah, well, the people who work in there perhaps do work with a bakery indeed. And now I just need to have a few more stair networks. This way you can access another little area just close by. I guess you can also go down to the sewers if you really want to. The engineers would certainly like to know about this place. It's a bit of a mess. I tried blue and purple flooring, but it doesn't look very good. So I went back with the concrete, and I really like how it touches the dirt there. It does look very good. This is going to have a little chair, some kind of grate thing, a light, and, you know, a little ashtray and a couple of plants there. I like the idea of that. A nice disheveled area, absolutely disgusting, poking out near the sewers. Sometimes beauty comes from areas like this. Maybe that's not the right word for it. It's certainly not very beautiful, but it does have an ashtray look and a lot of that smoke. The smoke is available on the Cockrycop mod, and it does look very good. Now it's time to decorate the inside of the pharmacy. So here I'm using wood paneling mixed with a bit of metal. I'll stick in a few green chairs for now, and I'll come back to that in a minute. Now I'm going to have a couple more of these bridges, use the pliers to open up a little hole so you can get through, and then I'm going to stick in lots of little handrails to access all of these weird points underground. I don't want people to fall over and hurt themselves, even though this is absolutely the area where people would fall over and hurt themselves. I still don't want it. I want safety in my city. It's very important. I've recently started a Patreon if you're interested. There's 3 tiers available. You can join as a cookie supporter, or maybe if you want to, you can be a Mitsumaru City helper. Get a bit of the work in progress before anybody else. That's the idea of it, really. No pressure anyway, you can still watch the videos for free. And if you want to support me in other ways, maybe you can check out my Ko-Fi. That's also like a donation thing. The idea really is that I want to make my city a project that I can actually work on and earn money from. I'm not begging, and I'm sorry if it does come across like that. It's just something I want to do and make an income from it, so I don't have to go to work. I'm a teacher, and it does my head in. Enough of that, let's get back to the work. So here I've created a nice little underground area, which is absolutely degraded, filled with mess. And inside here, I want to have some kind of room that is growing something. I don't really want to go into more details than that. It's just growing something. That's right, lots of little bushes, nice interesting details around there. And I want to build them in like little planters. The Yuushya mod and the Cockrycot mod come with all these different little planters. It's going to get warm in there because of the vegetation, so I need a ventilator and some kind of posters going up. I also need to put in an air conditioning unit and a few pipes. I want it nice and cool in there. And let us not speak of this underground area again. It is a great place and very interesting, but I need to work on the projects. That's more important than the little vegetables room. So let's get to it. The project's building itself is going to be changed a little bit. I do like working with worn concrete, but I feel like every single building I make is using worn concrete, in this city at least. So what I want to do is have some of these pale bricks instead. I like the idea of having these pale bricks because it reminds me a bit like one of those sort of cheap, run-down apartments that you sometimes see on your travels in Asia. At the bottom of the building, I want to keep it worn because I do like that effect. And up the building, I'm going to have a different tile pattern. On the corners, it's going to have a certain tile, and inside the middle, it's going to have those longer bricks. I like that. I think it looks good. Now I'm going to put a little warning sign and barrier the area off so people can't come in. I'll put in a bit of graffiti because remember, this place is a bit of a mess. I also added a mop bucket there just near the barrier for some reason, and a couple of posters on the side. I'll also add lots of little plants hanging around the area and start thinking about poking in the windows. This sort of space inside is going to have lots of different dormitories, I think. There's going to be plenty of space for people to stay. So now I'm putting in the stairwell and changing the flooring to be birch. I like the idea of that. There's plenty of space there to have some kind of room. I do like the idea of having multiple occupants in this area. It's not just for like one family, it's for people traveling, I guess, or going to a different area within the city. Homeless people, you could call them. I put in a few lights, and I'm going to make this like a little safe house, aren't I? Once the lights have gone in, I'm going to just go downstairs and show you what I'm going to do with the front area. Here, there's going to be 2 little doors and a nice little window space next to that, so you can see out and see all the mess that's there. I'm going to put grills on the window as well, because it's not safe here. There's also a mailbox, which is great. And then round the front, I'm going to add in a few little windows. Not exactly sure on the size of the windows yet. I think they should be smaller windows though, to be honest. Because like I say, this is going to be a safe house. And it's not exactly safe. This room here is going to have lots of different people in. And then at the top, there's going to be a little garden. Some kind of space. There's like 1 block of space to build some kind of garden. I'll block this little area off as well because again, it's a degraded, old, broken, degraded apartment block. That little flap is so you can get to the packages that are going to be hidden under there, look. A couple of doors, and then I can have a little barrier as well so people can't fall off the edge as they're accessing the beautiful area upstairs. Now I'm going to put in more of those windows. The window spaces I've decided to be a little bit smaller because that way it's not so dangerous and people can't hang around jumping into windows and breaking in. I don't like that. Here is how to make a pile of trash. What you have to do is turn a block into an entity, go in with the GUI tool and then bring it down. Make sure you've got another block in your offhand, and that way you can add a block state. Resize this one as well, bring it down into the other block and you can move it around. Maybe you can shift it a bit on the X-axis, a little bit on the Z-axis, maybe angle it a bit like I've done there. Add another block state. This one's a black piece of wool, and I'm basically going to stick this one into the other pieces as well. The idea really is to make a massive piece of trash, but it's just 1 block, that's the point of it. It's not several blocks here. So again, shift that one across, find another item. I'm going to find a package. This box, put that in my offhand, go back in with the GUI tool, add a block state, and then I can resize this one and move it to be part of this one block. So now actually this one entity block has 4 things inside it, which is kind of weird. So let's stack it up with even more. Let's find a bottle. Now I know there's a bottle from the Yuushya mod. I don't know where it is exactly. I think it's in catering. There it is, the bottle. Put that in my offhand, go back in with the GUI tool, add it as a block state. This black one, I thought it was a green bottle, but never mind. Sometimes it's black, sometimes it's green. You can move it where you want it to be, and now I've got a nice block of trash, haven't I? How cool is that? Now it's time to decorate inside the building. This is called the project, isn't it? And it needs to have lots and lots of different things for people to relax in, I guess, while they're going through their little transition between houses. It's a bit of an interesting thing. So first I've got to have some bunk beds. I stick those in neatly. They're going to be on top of each other, and I don't know, this is for a family. I guess they can stay there in their time of need. I'm also going to add some bamboo blinds to all of the windows, make it look nice and interesting and safe, and I'm also going to frame the windows. For the frames, I'm using the Yuushya mod frames. There's 4 of them in total, top, bottom, left and right. And once they go on the windows, I'm also going to add some grills, keep it nice and safe at the bottom. People cannot access this building at the bottom through the windows. They have to go through the doors and, you know, be decent. It's supposed to be one of those housing developments. It looks bad, but it's still family at the heart of it. At the top of the building, I'm going to start working on this little space. This is going to be like a little utility space. People can do stuff. They can plant their vegetables out here, even though there's not really any natural sunlight. There's a little bit. And maybe they can hang their clothes. They can get a little bit of the wind as well up here. I'm going to have an easel, because some of the residents like to paint. I like that. Something interesting like this. I'm also going to have a couple of chairs and a bunch of random plants. I'm just going to change the soil back and then add in a bunch of the farmland. Turn it all into entities and then put in some grown wheat. This looks really good up here. There's not much space and is a bit of a nightmare, but actually, you know what, it's still usable. There's plenty of space to do stuff. There's boards, there's a few plants up there. People still want to have a natural and happy life up here, don't they? I'm also going to put in lots of different things like clothes, keep it nice and neat for all of the residents, and make sure that everything is really good up here. It's exciting and vibrant. You can clip through the motorway a little bit there so you can see at the top, but never mind. I'm going to stick in a lot of packages and a little bit of barbed wire as well. People are not supposed to climb up to the roof or climb down. It's not safe to do it. On this little mezzanine, I'm going to add a few more extra bits, and then I'm going to start adding lots of little plants all the way around the building. I'm also going to have these little shelves. It's like a little rain cover on the building. This one's going to have a cat access point. This is where the cat can come in and out, look. There's a little black cat that sleeps on that ledge. That's going to have some housing in there, so why not? Another mailbox at the front, and now I need to add a sign for the project. For this, I'm going to put in these little bits, these stalks. It's actually a column. And then in the middle, I'm going to have some different coloured blocks. At first, I tried the blind wall. So once I put the signage in like this, I'm going to get all the letters and start applying the letters, look. So because it's going to be the project. Now I tried black blind wall, and it looks a bit better. To do this, I'm basically putting in the letters using the entity block. The letters come from Alphay's letters mod, and they look really good. And if you make them a little bit smaller by putting them all in the entity, just like I did with the trash before, you can actually have 3 letters in each entity. So in 3 entities width, if you get me, you can have the full title of projects. It looks really good like that. I've stuck in a few plants at the top. It's actually looking a bit more like a home now, not some like crazy dive just outside near the sewers. It's not great, but actually I quite like it. I would like to stay here one night, as long as it's safe and the people with me are happy, you know, and they're not up to anything dangerous or bad. I'd be happy with that, of course. This is going to be a little kitchen space. It's not going to be fitted out with too much detail, because again, this is like a halfway house. I guess halfway between a house. I guess it would be cheap or free rent. And in here, I'm just going to have a little dining table. That's where multiple residents could come in and talk to each other about their homelessness issues, maybe finding a job, because once you've got a job, you can deal with everything else. It all just falls into place, doesn't it? At least in theory. Add some lights, put in a few of these bamboo blocks on the floor, look. It acts as like a little welcome mat, and it does look good. I'm also going to stick in some hanging baskets, and also a sink. I always seem to forget the sink somehow. Put some milk on the fridge there in the corner next to the freezer. That's a shared freezer. And then I can put in the little hanging baskets I talked about. This is going to be the shared communal bathroom space. It is going to be a private bathroom space, so don't worry about anything like that. When I say a communal bathroom, it's basically because multiple people want to use it. I do need to fix the drain, so I added an extra soot pipe to act as a water bowl in the kitchen. And then I connected it up with the rest of the drain system on the outside of the building. Quite simple, really. Now I added a bathtub and a shower. This is the communal bathroom that you can use whenever you need to. You might even have to have some kind of timetable here. If there are too many families in the building at the same time, you can have a timetable organized when you can use the bathroom. Otherwise, people are going to be confused and there might be a bit of chaos and maybe arguing as well. I'll stick in a washing machine in there because why not? That's always a good idea. This little space here is going to have a few boxes near some cobwebs, lots of storage space, and I have a few more beds for another family here. It wouldn't be the best place to live next to the bathroom because it's always going to be noisy in there. I'll stick in a laptop as well. Maybe that's the community help laptop. And I also want to have some kind of TV room. I'll just play around with the paintings a little bit. I like that cat painting, but when you put the sofas there, it does remove it, so I'll have the world painting instead. That's always good. This is the communal living space with a TV. It's quite nice actually now. Put in a few boxes underneath and a couple of plants here and there. Add in a few extra posters and a few boxes as well. Those storage spaces are always useful. I like that, does look very good. The same beds all the way through the house, those brown ones. Upstairs with those little packages I said with that sort of safety flap. And now I'm going to add a few extra bunk beds. Very easy to make with the Yuushya mod, they really are. I'm also going to add some chests in there. The people who are living here want to store their things, even if it is temporary. I think it looks rather good like that. I stick in a few exit signs as well. Make sure it's nicely decorated with a couple of beds here and there. I don't want too many beds because it's not like a military base, which I'll probably build one day by the way, but not today. This is supposed to be a communal living space and a safe space for people to come while they're struggling a little bit with home issues. I think Mitsumaru City needs one of these. Well, not really, but yeah, it does. On the outside of the building, I'm going to have the AC units on those little ledges. The ledges are made from pale tiles, aren't they? And they do look good. I'm also going to stick in these little handrails as well, because that way the AC unit doesn't fall off the edge and nobody can climb up and grab it and disturb it, because that's not what we want. That looks really good, so I'm going to add a few vines here and there, try and tidy up the building a little bit. Go inside to add the AC units, because the outside bit has the AC. And at the bottom of the building, I'm also going to have one more AC unit. I'm just going to chip away that block and put in the handrail there. Nobody can get in and disturb the AC units now. It's nice and safe. Now I'm going to start decorating the building with a few vines here and there. The idea of the vines is to make it look like nature is taking over. A building like this should have a few things that make it look a bit broken as well. Maybe not too broken, I don't want it to look like a destroyed mess, but yeah, that's the project. Let's go take a tour of it. So first, let's go and have a look at this magnificent building from outside. The project, that's great. I like the bamboo blinds and I really like the outside of it too. Inside you can see this wonderful kitchen space and it's also got some shared beds. I guess that would be for a small family. This little area is a bit broken, isn't it? It's going somewhere. This bit's going to the sort of shop that's growing something. Yeah, it's good. Pretty interesting, really. I don't know why I added that, but I did. I guess it's a bit strange. I don't know how to access that point. So let's see. Maybe if I go back through the kitchen, I can show you later. So here, look, I can have a look at the second floor, which has this little communal living space, some beds, and a nice shared bathroom. It's got a washing machine in there. Brilliant. And the bathroom, of course, needs a toilet, doesn't it? This is the little cat flap area. Perfect. So here, look, we're going to go upstairs to the final bit, which is like the barracks space. The barracks space has lots of beds, storage places for all their stuff, a radio, not too many TVs because it is a bit broken. This is a mezzanine heading out, and you can see the top bit, this like strange balcony bit, has got a few plants growing, a couple of signs, the electric box, a painting which was easy to make, and then yeah, that's pretty good. That's the projects. So let's go back downstairs. Whoa, it's a bit of a nightmare to get through this. Those boxes, look, I told you about. Let's head down here. Ooh, there's some more boxes and cobwebs. And now I can show you the other bit that I can't get to. So let's go and have a look. Over here's those little bridges. Can I get over this bridge? Down here is that little bit. That's the smoking room, isn't it? Nice. So let's go over here. Oh, I can't get through. Ah, well, I need to get the pliers. So search for pliers, which is spelled with an E. I always just thought you spelt it with an A. Use it like that, and then you can basically twist it across until you've got access. There we go, I'm back in. If you've liked this video, subscribe, send me a comment as well. You're welcome to have a look at my new Patreon if you want to. I'm looking for members now because I'm a Yuushya pro, and I do intend to expand Mitsumaru City for a long time. I have a lot of projects in the pipeline. Maybe send me a donation on Ko-Fi. Mitsumaru City is going to be a permanent thing. I'll see you next time.